Hello YouTube, how you doing? Mike in Detroit. I told you we're going to build our repertoire up a little bit. Let me turn my mic up a little bit more. Thank you. And here's our song for today, Ain't Misbehaving. I have the band in a box version on the screen for a couple of reasons. In case you don't have the lead sheet, hit pause and get these chords right here. Get these chords uh, written down, or go to your favorite lead sheet book and it's probably in there. So let's take a listen to what Band in the Box says about this song. Yeah. All right, let me put this back up just for a second in case you did not get these copied down. Oh, and you need to get the chords. There they are. And so hopefully hit pause right here because I'm going to move this out of the way. It's a fun song to play. It's called a lot. Let me move this out of the way as well so you can see everything's working. This song, like most songs, has a thing or two to teach us. And again, I kind of preach this, messing around with my screen here. But you think you're learning the songs, but the song is really learning you, if that makes any sense. Key is E flat. E flat is 1, F is 2, G is 3, A flat is 4, D flat is 5, C is 6, D flat is 7, and then E flat is back to 1. I think the last song we did was also an E flat, so let's do some diatonic harmony here. 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, D minor 7 flat 5. So that is a prerequisite for any song, that once you play enough songs in a key, and a lot of songs are in E flat in jazz, a lot of songs. So you'll get more comfortable in one key than another because a lot of songs. I think it's because back in the day it was easier for the horn players to play in E flat. Then I think that's why. I'm not sure about that. So let's get to work on how I would, as an intermediate or late beginner, play this song. So we saw this voicing in the last song. I think the last song was Over the Rainbow. We did this. Okay, so we're going to steal that voicing and put it in. I told you a lot of this stuff is rinse, repeat. This time we're going to go. So the way I'm fingering that is thumb, first finger, and fourth finger. That leaves my pinky free to play this upcoming melody. Now, there is nothing wrong with playing. This is a much more modern, this quarter voicing. You could play this way, and that's perfectly fine. Actually, to most audiences, they won't be able to tell the difference, but to the discerning ear, you can't hear the difference. of diminished chords. Okay, so now I am playing a E diminished. There's the E. I have it in this inversion only because that's where the melody is. So there's a 1, sharp 1, and then there's a 2. A ton of songs do that. 1, sharp 1 diminished, to a 2. Let's do it in a different inversion. Maybe you'll hear a different song. Went to the 5. But this song that we're working on today doesn't do that. But a lot of songs do. 1, sharp 1 diminished, 2 to 5. So there's a progression to practice. But back to our song. 1, da da da. Looks like a D flat diminished, but these are diminished chords come in families. I could call that a D flat diminished, a E diminished, a G diminished, or a B flat diminished. Doesn't matter. They're all the same chord, just inversions of each other. And so they look at the bass. Da 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 da. The bass is just walking right up the diminished scale. So back to the beginning. Now we're going to do that again, except for this time we're going to start on a F minor. Here's my right hand. That's another diminished chord, F sharp. So we went from here. Notice some things hiding in this F minor chord. Take away the melody, you have an A flat triad. I'm going to make very soon. Stay tuned. Subscribe. It's coming. I'm going to make a video in the next day or so. These triads, if you can find them and stack them on the right bass note, you can get some big sound out of little triads. Matter of fact, look for that video coming up. Little triads, big sound. But this time I have an A flat triad over F, and then I add the melody. So from the top, we got da 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 da. That didn't sound right. Wait a minute, what's going on here? This. There you go. So that's a chunk. That's a chunk. Put your drum machine on, put on your rhythm machine, and get that chunk down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Oh, I went on to the next chunk. So the next chord is an E flat chord. And if you're familiar with my piano voicing system, this should look, here's my left hand, right hand, looks like a G minor 7 over E flat. That should make perfect sense to you. Same little thing going on with my pinky. Now I'm going to keep my bass note on E flat, and I need a passing chord here. I need this chord. Could throw that note in as well if I wanted to, but I got it in my left hand, so I don't need it. and this is stretchy. This is stretchy because this is a passing chord. It's an E flat 7. I think on your chord sheet it might have said G. It might have said G. It might have done this. It might have done that. That works too. I'm just looking at a different lead sheet, so let's see. Let's do it both ways, and then you pick or play it, learn it both ways. So let's go back to the top. Okay, that's the chord I just showed you. So let's go back here. Let's go here. So here I'm playing a G tritone. Got G in my left hand. I got a tritone in my right hand and the melody. That sounds good too. Actually, I might like that a little better. But this works too. Why? Because let me tell you why both work. Okay, so my target is A flat. So my target is A flat. So this is a matter of how am I going to approach A flat. Well, what's the 5 of A flat? E flat is. So that's going to sound good approaching A flat. But what is the it's like a 5/7 chord. This chord, very similar sound, is going. That also sounds good approaching A flat. Okay, got all that. So then we got a little melody. Now we have this. We saw that in Over the Rainbow. So this is a D flat 7 sus. Let's relay that. Here's root, flat 7, 9, and a melody. Now we got a third. So let's go over that slow. I want you to catch every single note. Now, when you get my arranging of it and you come up with slightly, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to come over your house, I promise. But I'm trying to give you a foundation to work from. So here we go. From the top. Diminished chord. F minor. Here's another diminished chord. And now let's do this one. Now, I almost said you can do both, but that didn't sound good at all. So you have to pick one or the other. At least to my ear, that sounded ugly. So we're heading for A flat. Now we have a D flat 7. Sus, resolving, and then we have this part is going to be the same. Now right here it depends. Last time we went here, but then that means we're just doing another round of the same thing. So let's continue. I'm gonna play it this way. Now what if we were not continuing? We need a different chord. So let's figure out what that is. This is the same. Now we do not need an F sharp diminished. We need to get home. So we need the 5 chord. We need this chord. When you're on the 5 chords, a lot of ways to voice that. So I can voice it this way. I can do it. No, that's something I need. So here's I need the root, 5th, and the flat 7. Root, 5th, 7. 3rd works. That works. That kind of works. And let's settle on this one. Let's do that. This F and this A flat are being doubled in the left hand. So we could do this. You don't necessarily need duplicates, but you can do it if you want to thicken up the sound, or this. The melody's on the 9th, which is nice. Okay, so remember that B flat chord pivots. Pivots you. That's a signal that we're going home. So in this song, I'm going to teach you 2 pretty hip turnarounds. So you'd think I'd be going here, but if I did that, song's over. I went to the 1 chord. So let's go back to this 5 chord. This time I'm going to go to a 3. This is one of my favorite G7 voicings. It's a G sus. Now on the piano, and I'm sure it's the same way on any chordal instrument, it's kind of cool to do a turnaround while holding a note. This time we're going to hold that G. That G is going to sustain throughout this whole turnaround. And I'm going to go real slow here because I want you to learn this turnaround note for note. Okay, so G is in the key of E flat. G would be a minor chord, but we don't want a minor chord here. We want a dramatic 3 major or a dominant chord. It's really not a dominant chord, that would be dominant. I just like that sound. It's open, puts the melody on top. Now that G is going to go to a C7, flat 9. See that G is still on top? See it's still hanging out? So we went from here. Right? Now I'm going to need this. Several more times for you because I want you to get that one. So let's go backwards a little bit. Da 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 da. Let's see. Where am I? Da, da. Now we're ready for our turnaround. Chord by chord. That is a sweet turnaround. Put it in your repertoire. Here's the G3 major. Right hand, left hand. I'm just popping a G. I guess I could have played that. But let's try it. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't add a add or subtract much, so I'll just. Now on this C7, I'm thinking diminished. This song's got. I explained that in Over the Rainbow. So I went up here, I went up a whole step. What's the diminished chord? So let's do this. This is how you practice it. Now I'm going to do it 2-3 times. You do it 20 or 30 times. Now this G is what's holding this whole turnaround together. Now we're going to go here. That's an A flat major 7 over F. That to the mix. It's really a 3-6-2-5 turnaround, but the chord qualities have changed a little bit. So we have a 3 major. The 6th chord you would think would be minor, but it's not in this turnaround. It is a C7 flat 9, or just think of it as D flat diminished over C. Now we get to a minor chord. That's the 2 chord. Now I'm thinking B diminished over B flat. See that diminished? Now I don't want to play that F because I want to keep that G going. I could do it. I could resolve it. There's the diminished chord. So let's call it a diminished stretch. And that happens sometimes with diminished chords. You got kind of a diminished chord, but a stretch note. One more time, because I want you to get this one. 3, 6, 2, 5. Play it again. 3, 6, 2, 5. And now we're back to. Back to the beginning, which I already went over. Let's do it this way, this time. Going out, you don't need an F sharp diminished. You need a B flat chord. You need this chord. And one more time for that beautiful turn. I just delayed my right hand. Middle 2 fingers came down. Middle 2 fingers walked down. Inner voicings came down a half step. That is straight up jazz technique. I'm kind of getting into advanced stuff now, but you can handle it. So here's an A flat over B flat with inner voice movement and resolve. Now the only thing left in this song that we got to cover is the little bridge part, and just like Over the Rainbow, we're just going to take that up and just use right hand. So we got a C minor. 1, 2. Now play that 1. So let the chord ring. we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. However you hear it, I mean, you got to go listen to this song. So, some you might hear it that way. So that's just a straight. We're not doing anything fancy in our left hand. We're just playing a C minor chord. Now we're gonna play an A flat 7. So we went from C minor and that takes you to an F7. That's a C7, but I have it voiced in second inversion. So let's do that little chunk here. I like to play with this, so I'm messing with this. Well, if I mess with it, I don't get hit with copyright laws. Now that A flat 7 is in third inversion. There's the A flat. If I had a bass player, I wouldn't even have to play that. I just maybe do the ninth like that. But since I don't have a bass player right now, I'll have to cover that. The melody is doing the same thing. Why did I pick this third inversion, which I hardly ever play? Because look how it just drops right to F7. So that is voice leading. A flat 7 to F7. I told you this song has a lot to teach us. Remember, the rewind button is your best friend. So here's A flat 7. Now we need a C7. Well, we could go down here and get that. We could go down and get that, but why? We could just go get this. So that's a 4-bar chunk to practice. Now we have let me see, B flat. Now we got a B flat, and your lead sheet that I put on there says G7, which is the so my lead sheet says another diminished chord. So we got, and tell you the truth, I like that better. So in the second part of the bridge, it starts off with a B flat. That B7 is going to a C minor. And then that's another F7. So then we have a B flat 7. Now here's the second turnaround I want to show you. So when we get to this B flat 7, so the audience says enough of this Danish stuff. We want to hear. We want to take it up to get a little bit more emotion going on. So we got this. So I'm coming out of the bridge, and I said, "Whoa, that's a lot of notes here." But let's break this down so you can get it. B flat is a shell voicing here. Root, fifth, flat 7, right? Standard shell voicing technique. In my right hand, I'm playing a 2 minor 7 chord. There's a C minor 2 of B flat. You put that together, you got a nice, talking about dramatic. Let's take that. Now let's analyze that. We got a root, we got a 5th, we got a 7, we got a 9, we got a 4th, we got a 6th, and we got a root again. So we see we got roots all over. That's a beautiful voicing, right? Now, that is the beginning of another turnaround I want to show you. This time, we're not going to maintain that. Last time we maintained the high melody note. We're going to think for now. Hang with me with this. So we have a 2 over 1. That's the way we're going to think about this. But it's not really a 1 because we're in the key of E flat. For now, we're going to suspend that. We're going to think that we're in B flat. So we have a 2 chord over 1 chord, which happens to be the 5 chord of the key. Did all that make sense? And then if we think of it as we're kind of temporarily in B flat, we're going to go to its 2 chord, we're going to go here, and so we're going to kind of like do a 2-5-1 back to B flat. And then, so what's the 5 chord of B flat? That's an F9. That's a staple voicing in our chord vocabulary. Now we're right back to B flat again. So let me do that again, kind of slow. Turnaround. Now we're back to what we would call the 1, but now we're going to call it the 5 again because it is the 5. But for a minute we thought about it as a 1 chord and we played a 2-5-1 around it, and then that takes us to. So we got that part. So let's do that other thing again. How do we steal this and stick it in other songs and stick it in other things that we play? Let the song teach us and rinse, repeat. I'm on a 5 chord. And I am playing a 2. I'm going to the 2nd degree of that 5 chord here. And I'm playing so I'm doing a share voicing here. Right? And I'm playing a 2 minor 7. Against that shell voicing. It shouldn't be too hard for you to take that to another 7 chord. B flat's not the only 7 chord you're ever going to play. Let's play a G7. Let's do a shell voicing. Root, 5th. What's the 2? I need an A minor 7. There it is. With these formulas, you can kind of cheat a little bit. Beautiful. So here, back to here, we got this. It's got that orchestration, dramatic feel to it. Now, one more thing to add to this voicing. Once you know that that's a C minor 7th in your right hand, let's try some different inversions. Versions were, and told you we're going to squeeze everything we can get out of these songs, and aha, we just discovered some new voicings, we just discovered some new techniques. So that's a good one. One more time on that 2nd turnaround. So we were coming out of the bridge, and we needed this B flat. Now we could have just hung out on that B flat. We could have played something like this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's whack. We're not going out that way. We need a turnaround in that space. So we're already on 5, and we need to turn around to 5. So the turnaround is turning around to itself. Steal this voicing, put it in your pocket. It's delicious. It's not that tough to play. So we're gonna go up. And then we're gonna go down. I love this one. One more time. That just sets up, something's gotta follow that. If you play this and you got up from the piano, somebody's gonna shoot you. You can't get up on this. That's gotta be resolved. And we got more tension. Build it up. More tension. So this is not a Mary Had a Little Lamb kind of turnaround, because it's all on the 5 chord, and the 5 chord is supposed to be tension. Okay, so let me talk to my good buddy Gino. Figure out on the guitar. So you got it. I'll figure it out for you if you try to get that sound on the guitar. That's some kind of B flat 7, 9. It's a B flat sus with a 13th in it. B flat 13 sus, if you want to name it that. But who wants to do all that? Just think C minor over B flat. Now we're going to go up. We're going to kind of pretend that we're in the key of B flat just for a second. We know that it's the 5 chord. We didn't forget. We know it's the 5 chord. But to make sense of this turnaround, because it's turning around, we're going to go up to the 2nd of that chord. All these are dominant chords. Every last one of them are dominant chords. Now here I have a C7 shell voicing, and I have this. I could have played that, but I don't like it that much. And that's what you do in your practice. Yeah, it's okay, but I like this. I like that better. Would a 9th work? Yeah. So I don't have a 3rd in my left hand, so let's keep that. 5th, I can take them or leave them. But I like this voicing. Let's jump that. Let's jump that. I would say if you get this, you are in almost, you have left intermediate. This is professional stuff. So chunk that, still that sound. Beautiful. Now go up to a C7. Now we're going to play an F9. Kind of twangy. It's actually an F9. It's an F9 with a 9th in it. Well, I guess F9s do have 9s. Dummy. Now we're going to steal that. There is that diminished over root rule again. Go up. See, I have it be diminished in my right hand, and I have it. Okay, last time I'm gonna. So we have this. Grab those notes. Right hand, C minor over shell. Go up and play this. Nope. Play that. Play this. And then play this. on your way out of the song, don't go here. Go here. When you're on your way out, go here. Just like when you went to the bridge, if you're on your way out, go to that B flat 7. This arpeggio I'm playing, I think I've mentioned that, many videos back. You guys gotta subscribe, you're missing a lot of good stuff. And you can't beat the price. So what is this arpeggio I'm playing? It's really a G minor over E flat. Why do I pick this inversion? Because it just fits the hands. Just fits the hands like a glove. So it's G minor third inversion. I can trail, by the way, with that E flat. I'm gonna go slow. I'm on my way out. I've just played da 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 da. Let's do that. Da, da, da. Remember, on the way out, you need a B flat, not an F sharp. And I'm gonna go home. So see my right hand's playing this G minor. Once it goes here, hit that E flat with your left hand. So I can trail along with my left hand, hitting my left hand is seeking out E flats. And then big finish. Another way to end the song is with a 5-triad arpeggio. Let's see, let's do that one, and then we're out for this video. And we got this 2 to this 5. Now this time I'm gonna finish up with a 5 chord B flat arpeggio, but see how I'm already here? That's nothing more than a B flat. Okay, Mike in Detroit, hope that was helpful for someone. 2 things for you. I have 3 things really. If you know someone who can benefit from this style of music and is at this level, I started this because years ago I figured there's a lot of advanced people out there showing off, and there's a lot of beginner stuff out there, but there's very little for this intermediate. There's this gap that you go to La La Land, there's nothing really for you to practice on, and I wanted to fill that gap, that late beginner. You've been playing a year, 6 months, a year. If you know someone like that, share this video with them. Secondly, drop in the comments if this was helpful to you, and B, if you got a song suggestion for me to cover. I'm trying to get to the ones that I think are called a lot. Anyway, Mike in Detroit. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.